Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Aeos Clubhouse number 12. It is October 7th. Oh, no.
Did you almost say August? Did you really almost say August?
There might have been some hope in my voice, but it's all wrong. No, this is all great. It's all great. I'm Kyle Ferguson. Welcome, everybody. I am joined by the first voice you heard, which is Kai Berries.
Hello, Kyle.
Hello.
Oh, and Mockery, you're here as well.
We forgot that he was a person.
Yeah, I've just been gone for so long that I think Kyle got pretty comfortable not having to introduce me at the start of the show, and he probably wishes he could return to that.
Oh, that's not true at all. We missed you last week. We missed your mammo swine interpretations.
I missed you guys so much last week, dude. Like, I just had one night where I just was having a terrible quality of sleep, and I'm like, my alarms, whatever, I'm gonna turn those off. And then I woke up right as the episode was finishing, and I just wanted,
Oh,
like,
no.
that panic. You know what I mean? Yeah. That very fast transition between like a peaceful rest and like, oh no. So for anybody who was worried, I did not get mock napped. I did not, find myself in mortal danger or anything like that. I just unfortunately overslept, and that was very bad of me. But I am back. Hello.
It happens. And we had a fine episode. I hope you all enjoyed Mammo Swine for the week that he was exclusively brand new, because we're straight to Sylveon with very little fanfare. Just here you go. You knew what was happening anyway, so let's just get it out of the way.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, and she's very exciting. Whoa.
Yeah, the pace that they come out at is so nuts. Like, I feel like I just barely, especially coming from Heroes of the Storm. I know I talk about it all the time. Our last character in Heroes of the Storm was in December 2020. Augur is still new, in my mind, based off the frame of reference that I have been trained with over the past however many years. Like, Zeraora is still new,
Okay. But when HOTS was as new as Pokemon Unite, we were getting a hero every 2 or 3 weeks. Like, that's still not quite as fast as Unite. Unite's like bem right now. But HOTS was real rapid fire when it was a baby as well. This is baby video game. It's only been out for a few months.
Mm-hmm. HOTS, for a very long time, for a couple of years in a row, did not go more than 5 weeks between character releases.
Yeah, so we're in that phase of this MOBA where they're just pushing them. They're just pumping content.
Well,
which is to be expected.
Sylveon, but she's so expensive. I believe she's the first 10,000 gold new character like that has been added, because these characters that they've been adding, like Blastoise, Blissey, Mamoswine, I want to say we're all 8,000 gold. And then they throw a new one at us, and it's even more expensive and even more broken.
She's very good.
Buy Sylveon. I refuse to open up my wallet, though.
I did. I didn't have enough coins. I have 5,000, and it was 10. So I was like, I'm doing it. I'll buy it.
You're giving in.
I did. Yeah.
I mean, that's the genius of the fast releases and kind of the game plan. It's wild as that is. Like, in other MOBAs, you need voices, people, small icons in the corner that animate and perhaps even say the people's lines. You have other graphical requirements. You've got multiple release structures, at least when it came to, now we're on mobile and not. But they can turn these out pretty fast. And I assume much simpler, with more ease than a traditional MOBA could. And for that, with a free-to-play game, that's genius. Now you get to put out Pokemon /heroes/champions at a speed that the developers can make them, rather than the speed that the team can create the assets.
Yeah, there's always a multi-step process, and the pipeline for Heroes of the Storm, a character would be in the works for over 6 months before they actually sort of were able to be played. And a lot of that, like you said, is just so simplified or removed in this game. And that's something that I think is really fascinating, is when a game is able to bypass some of those steps, reduce on some of the labor that it takes to put out new characters to pump them out faster. Like
okay, but actually, I'm gonna explode with this because I've had so many conversations about this lately on my stream or with other people about actually how they create the assets for Pokemon Unite. So this is what I know from Pokemon Go, and this might not be true anymore because I haven't played the game in a little bit. But in the past with Pokemon Go, Niantic, the developer who makes Pokemon Go, they don't make any of the assets of the Pokemon themselves. They get them directly from the Pokemon company. And from what I remember, they're the 3DS models for all the Pokemon. And they just send those over. And then Niantic has to take those models, those files, and put them onto their game engine, right? Because they're going from one game that's made for the 3DS, whatever engine that runs on, to whatever they use to make Pokemon Go. And that's the main process of getting Pokemon to them. They get all the arts, and then they have to get it into their game and like reanimate it and stuff. So like I want to know so badly how they do Pokemon Unite, because it's made by Tencent and Tencent's sub company Teamy, right? I think that's how you say it. So, and it's on a completely different engine that they develop. How they get the assets, I assume from the Pokemon company, and then what kind of configuring, taking apart and putting together to put them into the engine that Unite runs on, and then animating them. I want to know so badly. They haven't really talked at all about the development of this game, but that's something that just like fascinates the heck out of me. Because normally in a game like we talk about with Heroes of the Storm, right? They don't pluck Arthas out of World of Warcraft and drop him into the HOTS engine, which is really a modified version of the StarCraft engine. They don't do that. They remake him from scratch. They use references and they make him out of clay and remake him in Heroes of the Storm. His other game appearances are just a reference, but with Pokemon, there is a chance that they are plucked right out of another game and dropped into this one, and that process fascinates me. And how is it quick? Is it quicker than making a character from scratch? Do they just make them from scratch? I want to know.
Yeah, I know absolutely nothing about all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, because we think that the process must be really quick because the Pokemon already exist, the art assets exist, the sound effects, their cries all exist somewhere else. It must be so easy to just dump them into Unite, but like, is it?
Yeah, I mean, like I was just thinking about that. Like Kyle said a moment ago, not having voice acting and all that is so nice. Like you mentioned with the, the little
that's their cries. Their cries. Yeah, it's called a cry.
Character makes. And for some of them, it's not even very much noise. Like you have the very extremely verbose Pikachu who has actual voice acting on every action that it can take. Whereas you have like Snorlax who's just like, and that's like literally go to Snorlax in the store in the menu and mouse over Snorlax. He gives you the most curt, just a very slight grunt, and that's about all you're getting out of him. So all that work of getting someone in the studio and running them through the lines and picking voice actors and however much you got to pay those voice actors, all of that just out the window. And it does mean that you can churn it out so much faster. So yeah, it just makes a lot of sense.
What is the 3D Pokemon game on the Switch right now?
Because that's Sword and Shield.
Okay,
because Sword and Shield is the newest. No, Sword and Shield is the newest Pokemon as of right now when we're recording this on October 7th. If you're watching this in the future and like Brilliant Diamond is out or Legends of Arceus is out, don't come for me because this was recorded when Sword and Shield is the most current installation.
My question would be, does Sword and Shield, because I know it's rosters limited, that was the big like scandal, does it have all of our Pokemon Unite Pokemon?
I have not compared the two rosters, but part of the thing with Sword and Shield that was scandalous is that more Pokemon than are obtainable in the game are in the game, within the game files. There were Pokemon, and they released some of them over time. They were like, oh, this Pokemon that you wanted that wasn't there, well, now it's here now. As in this, they did they did DLC, paid DLC. They also did like free events where they're like, new Pokemon. So.
Oh, but it was right there. Like it was in the game files.
Yeah. What's actually lurking under the hood is more expansive than what you actually see in the game.
Oh. Wait,
that just reminds me of Smash, who just added in their very last character, and the whole big thing with Smash Ultimate was that it had every Smash character ever, which was kind of the norm for Pokemon too, right? They had every Pokemon ever before this generation in all of them, to my understanding. And I'm just thinking about how that scales into the future, because these lists only grow You know, you
Yeah,
only
there's
get
over
more
there's
Pokemon.
over 900 Pokemon. That's a lot of
Yeah.
Pokemon.
And I think about that with like the next Smash. I'm like, there's no way, you know, the next Smash that we end up having after Ultimate is also going to have every character ever and keep adding more. Or is it? I don't know. And it's the same thing with Pokemon and all these new Pokemon generations. And the whole time it's on the hardware of the Switch, which is a very good device, but is limited in its output in what it can do. So it's you really start to face these problems of scale, and you know these problems are only going to get worse as we move forward. So that's interesting to see. I don't think that's too much a case in Pokemon Unite for right now, but just while we're talking about the main line of games, that's a thought that I have about the future.
Taking a quick look through the Pokemon Sword and Shield roster here, I'm seeing everything covered right now. So it could be the case, in which case, if we were to look into future Pokemon, you might want to look at the Sword and Shield roster and see what was available in that game. Rhydon's a scandalous story for me, a very sad story. A kid on the bus traded me a level 50 Rhydon for my Squirtle because he said, look how powerful it is. Don't you want this instead? You could beat the game so easy. But of course, I didn't have the badges to actually control my Rhydon. So it just did whatever it wanted.
He got debated.
And he took my Squirtle. I was but a young lad. He took advantage of my lack of Pokemon knowledge at the time. Now I know better.
Should find that kid and beat him up.
As an adult, hunt him down.
Yeah.
Head back
took my Squirtle.
Back to old Albuquerque, New Mexico, and find him.
It's your supervillain origin story, honestly.
You took my Squirtle. Prepare to die.
Well, certainly the bulk of the show will be all about Sylveon today, the many abilities, kind of our reactions to it. But before we get to that, how was everyone's week in the Pokemon Unite Stadium, and what sort of mischief did you get up to?
Okay, I'm just going to say, as far as playing Sylveon, it's actually impossible to do. She is really, really good and so hotly contested. I've only gotten to play her in literally 3 games over the course of this since her release. I was playing the game the nanosecond she came out. You know what I mean? I was waiting. And I've played her 3 times because somebody insta-locks her and they're so fast. It's got to be like people on phones because they load so much faster than me. And I only have to hit
the character you want. You know, you don't have to go through the clunky switch menu. Even
in the clunky switch menu, I only have to hit right one time and she's right there. So it's like, it should be so fast. It's just one, but no, someone's already completely locked her in, like called their lane by the time I can hit right on the joystick one time. And it's like, it's so hard to actually play her because everybody wants to play her. And she's in every game. There's 2 of her in every game. You're gonna get voiced to death no matter what you do.
I swung by your stream, and at the moment I arrived, you were regretfully perhaps saying you missed quick match. You wish you could pick.
Yeah.
You wish you could pick your Pokemon in advance.
I don't think anyone who's ever played Heroes of the Storm and played quick match has ever uttered that phrase before that moment. I may be the first person to have ever strung those words together in a sentence, but I miss quick match because I just want to practice Sylveon and I can't get Sylveon. Like,
so for our listeners that are unfamiliar with this mode in an entirely separate game from Pokemon Unite and Heroes of the Storm, Quick Match was its own mode where you selected the character that you wanted to play at the queue screen. So before you even get matched with anybody else, you know exactly what you're going to play that game. And that was part of the unique allure of the regular gaming mode, the non-ranked mode, so to speak, of Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah, it's not normal. I don't know of any other MOBA that actually has an equivalent mode where you queue up as your selected character first and then you matchmake after. You even pick your character before you know what map you're going to play on. Heroes of the Storm has a bunch of different maps. Think of in Pokemon Unite, if you had like the standard map, the Aeos Stadium, but then also all of the quick match maps, and you didn't know what one you were going to get. Like it could be Aroma Stadium, or it could you didn't even know where you were going to play, and you picked your character first.
And that really influences what character you want to be, but you don't know.
But you don't know, it's a mystery. And so that's kind of like lamented sometimes, that somebody plays a character that's really bad on a specific map, and then they get that map and they're like, no. But now here I miss it because I really want to just play Sylveon, and I can't even in bot games. The way it works, if you queue for a bot game, the CPU game, if there's other human beings also queuing for a bot game, you will get them on your team. You'll have bot opponents. Yeah, you'll have bot opponents, but you are not guaranteed to have bot teammates. So apparently everybody else had the same idea I did, because I was like, oh, I can't get Sylveon in standard or ranked. I'll just go to bots. My bot games are full of humans too, and they all want to play Sylveon.
Wow.
Yeah, you will only get bot teammates if they don't have humans to give you at that time. So you could have 1 human teammate and 3 bot teammates, or you could have 5 humans, you could have 4 bots, whatever. I've had every combination, just depending on what time I've queued and what people are available. So there's no guaranteed way to play Sylveon unless you're in try mode. And that doesn't even count as a mode.
Played a healthy share of bot games, and I think I've had a full human team on my side every time.
Yeah, it's not what I wanted when I went there.
Yeah, it would really be nice to choose, like, oh, I want to play with other people, or I'd love it if it's just me and a bunch of bots, you know? That's I like to boot those up sometime. I do that for Counter-Strike. I think I may be the only person in the world who uses Counter-Strike to relax, as I play it with bot games completely by myself, and I just go click some heads for a while, and it's therapeutic.
Yeah, I do that with StarCraft. I don't want to be schooled tonight. I'm not in the mood for try-harding, but I'd like to make some units and get to the very, very late game with my Ultralists.
Mine's Age of Empires too, and I just want to build big, beautiful walled cities, very well planned out, and then eventually I'll have to go annihilate the enemy NPCs or set up elaborate trade routes. That's really fun too. But yeah, that's I've never played Age of Empires versus people.
Sounds like you want city skylines more than
but
AoE.
it's not the same. I don't know what to say. It's not the same flavor.
I get you.
I would never want to play Civ with other people. It could be fun, but I don't want to wait on their turns.
Yeah, it's just I've done it completely. It's either like, oh, there's a setting where everyone takes their Civ turn at the same time, and then like APM is actually a relevant factor.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like, it's not like, oh, turns are just continuously going. It's like there is a turn, and then everybody does their turn at the same time. So it's important that you move your troops before they do, because you're both able to move them at the same time, that kind of thing. And then once everybody's moved, it all goes to the next turn. And that is like crazy chaos on its own. And then there's, everybody take their turn one at a time, which just turns your games into being like 10 times longer than they should for a game, Civ 5, Civ in general, where the games are already super long.
Yeah.
So I totally get exactly what you mean. Some things are just, in my opinion, best enjoyed just you and a couple bots, and you're not there to be the most hardcore guy on the block every game, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're just putting this out there in the world. Tencent, an actual bot mode with actual robots and not people would be great if you could consider putting that into Unite, or making it an option. Bots only, no people.
It's definitely what you do when you first get in the game, like the sort of training stuff that happens.
You can get them randomly, even in ranked. You can have bot games where your entire team are bots as well as the enemy team, or you can have bot games where it's a mix on your team and the enemy team are all bots if you're on like a big loss streak. But to be able to just say, like, we know the robots are there, we know they exist, they're available, if I could just choose to play against them so I could get some Sylveon practice in, that would be great.
I mean, bot games in ranked only really get me, not because, they're going to go a little shorter sometimes, they're going to be easy. It's always because of round 3 losses when I go, that's it, I'm playing my main, or I'm playing that thing I haven't been able to get in a while, I'm going to first pick it before anyone else. And of course I first pick it, because I'm usually with a bot teammate for those sort of games. And I get exactly what I want. And I regret it, because then my best is up against bots. Anyway, Mockery, you this week had a little bit of a project. You were doing a fresh account.
Yes, I was doing a fresh account, and funnily enough, I was actually about to bring exactly that up in regard to this discussion we're having. I learned that when you make a fresh account, I'm like 99% sure that even your teammates, which the game tries to pass off as real people and use like real usernames for, I'm pretty sure those are bots. Like the way everything that I was seeing about how they were moving, how they were acting, I'm like, I know that I've played the game before, I know I've played MOBAs before, but why is it that for several games in a row, when I make this fresh account, everyone on my team locks in at the same time instantly, and they all know exactly what they're gonna play, and they're all playing different roles? That's
Now
not how real people work.
I am 700% convinced that for the bots, they use actual players' names.
Mhm.
Because they changed what the bot portrait looks like, so now it's not zoomed in and blurry anymore, and now it's zoomed out, and they're all wearing purple, and they're all doing the pose with the like fist up.
Oh
But
yeah, the very first pose that like you by default do. At the
they're
start
doing
of the
that,
game.
and they're wearing like the default trainer outfit where it's like the purple tracksuit. But I had bots, and I know they were bots who had TTV in their name. And there's no way the guy's name was like Mason TTV or something. Not Mason, I don't remember, but just, like Mason TTV. And there's no way, I refuse to believe that the bot randomly rolled that in their name. That's a person's name that they assigned to a bot. There's no other way around it.
It just dips into the hat of existing usernames and pulls one, and it's just, this is who I will pretend to be this match.
Yeah. According to the chat here, Shot's hanging out. His Shoddy 3 Hottie account appeared in a bot game.
Oh my god, did you have to play against yourself or with yourself?
Well, this was
my gosh.
a friend saying they had to fight them, so it's not like.
Oh, okay.
But that would be funny that he had to face
That
down
would be
his.
so funny. Yeah,
his own
your other
Shoddy 2 Hottie versus Shoddy 3 Hottie, and it's the classic. Who are you? I'm you, but stronger.
Yeah. I've come to kill you, father. Like, that's what the bot says. That would be so funny. But on the other hand, that's kind of like, the implication of that is kind of surprising to me, because like, what if somebody who doesn't know that goes up against Shoddy 3 Hottie and just absolutely destroys them because they're a bot, and then they're like, Shot, you played like trash. You're the worst.
Yeah.
And and then you're like, but it wasn't me. I wasn't even there. It was the bots. Like, I don't know. That just feels really awkward that there could be a shadow version of yourself running around losing games because they're a bot.
I mean, to be fair, Nintendo does love shadow versions, so it's not against the usual gameplay.
Like, I just remember someone actually informed me just about an hour ago right now that there is someone else out there playing on a Mockery TTV account in Heroes of the Storm that has literally nothing to do with me. Yeah, there's someone else traipsing around pretending to be me.
I had a fake Kai Berries the other day, and they were super toxic. Makes me sad.
Yeah, like, it's a very common thing in the modern day for people who feel particularly disgruntled with a certain internet figure, that they are going to go and pretend to be that person so that they can be as toxic a person as possible and harm your internet image. And this isn't quite exactly the same thing, but it just, you feel a sense of loss of control of your identity. Other people, what it boils down to is that other people can see something under your exact username that you are not responsible for, that you are not doing.
Yeah, but
it's kind of a spooky thought.
Instead of being toxic, they're just gonna suck.
Yeah. If you ever beat me in a game, if I'm on the enemy team and it was a bot. It wasn't me. It was a bot. I'm not responsible for that. You didn't beat me. You've never beat me. You beat a bot. But if I beat you, it was real, and get wrecked. That's the standard. That's how I want everybody to assume going forward. If you think you beat me, you didn't. You beat a bot.
Yeah, like, I don't care if you beat me and then you booted up my Twitch stream and saw me live getting beat. Those bots are getting really advanced these days.
Yeah, that's just AI. That's just AI.
Yeah,
I don't take any responsibility for that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But you were having a Masters account or a second account trying to get to Masters.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the climb yet again. I'm not going to spend any money on this account. I'm already not spending much money on this game. I bought those 2 battle passes, and I accidentally like bought a couple item enhancers, like 15 of them one time or something like that. It's just trying to go through that experience yet again, seeing what the climb is like now that some time has passed, because the environment that I climbed in before the game was even out on phones is undoubtedly very different from the environment now. There's a lot of new characters, there's a ton of new players. Our understanding of the game has evolved to such an extent. Like, I got to master before it was generally understood that Dreadnought is better than Rotom. You know what I mean? Like,
Wait, hold up. Can we talk about that though? Because for my last week plus of gameplay, nobody goes to Dreadnought anymore, and it's really confusing to me, and I don't understand what's happening. I consistently have, I think I can count the number of games on one hand where all 5 members of my team actually went to Dreadnought at any point in the game. There's always 2+ people going immediately to Rotom. Like, why has this happened? Multiple times, multiple games over the course of like 9 days. I just don't understand.
It's a
I
free
need help.
Rotom, baby. You know, if all your teammates go down to Dreadnought and the entire enemy team goes down to Dreadnought and your whole team gets wiped while they're taking Dreadnought, then guess who gets to take a free Rotom, baby?
I had one game where they had done so much Rotom, we had both top score zones down, and they still didn't go to bottom Dreadnought for the final one. And they got Rotom, and they tried to push with it. They tried to push Rotom into the core. It's like,
ambitious.
What? It did not work. It did not work.
That's an
I'm
interesting
so
more
confused.
Soul crushing than just like watching a Dreadnought that your team didn't rotate to, that's just being taken, and you know that you can't even approach without imminent death. And you just know you're cursed to be behind on experience, and that's just how this game is gonna go. It's a rough time.
And then like every game where those couple games where I could count on my hand where we actually did go to Dreadnought were always a win. And then the other ones were like a mixed bag of losses and tragic losses. So I don't know where this is coming from, and it makes me really upset. If you can hear this, please go to Dreadnought, not Rotom.
Raccoon mentions in the chat here, and you would have experienced the tutorial recently, Mockery, that the tutorial overemphasizes Rotom. I think that's true because you take him, right, in the tutorial.
Yeah. There's a long history of like a MOBA will come out, and with that MOBA will obviously come a tutorial about how to play. And the tutorial is so divergent from actual gameplay and just doesn't get updated according to the modern standards at all. For example, it's effectively, League of Legends was infamous for this, where the tutorial has you play Ashe and you build a Thorn Mail to learn how to buy items, which is effectively like if in this game it was like, here's your first game, let's go play Cinderace and build a Rocky helmet and a score shield. You know, it's kind of the exact same idea of just like, and let's go solo Rotom while we're at it. Like, just something that has no basis in how the game is actually played with any kind of focus or refinement. And these tutorials always lag behind in capturing that sentiment. And so I think that's something that we're starting to see in Unite as well right here.
It's always been strange to me. You hear about it with World of Warcraft, any game on the planet, that the Reddit community, the people who read the patch notes, it's such a small fraction of the actual gaming sphere.
That's true.
And
there's.
But if you like something, why don't you read about it? Like, that's like...
Well, I mean, it's like what I said to you before. I like to play CS:GO in all bot matches. Have I ever read a single CS:GO patch note? Never, not in my life. There's something, I believe it's the 90-9-1 rule. Those are 3 separate numbers, 90 and 9 and 1, where you have like 90% of people just take in the content, and 9% of people like comment on the content and interact with it in some form. And then like 1% are actually making that content that's being looked at. And those are, you know, just sort of rough hand-waved numbers, but it sort of catches the idea of it, you know? Like, we interact with a load of content on the internet all the time. And for the vast majority of it, even what you're not an enthusiast in everything, right? Like, even though I'm an enthusiast when it comes to gaming and esports and certain specific video games, I'm not even an enthusiast in terms of all games. I'm not for CSGO, and so I don't interact with that kind of stuff. So it just kind of makes sense when you look at the sort of economy of your interest and time. There are so many more things that you interact with and will never interact with in the world than things that you will be specifically invested in and research on. So you're always going to have an extremely large population in virtually everything that is just those silent watchers, just lurking, interacting, taking it in without really doing much more.
Yeah. If it has other people in there, I'm researching though. That's my thing. If other people are gonna see my name, granted now the bots have my name, but if other people are gonna see it, I want to make sure I'm representing myself okay.
Yeah, bot Kyle Ferguson's not doing any research. That man's tarnishing your good name.
Exactly. But I also saw, since you were on a free account, you were enjoying the free to play rotation, and I also went Gardevoring this week.
Yes, with all these characters coming out every week, Gardevoir unfortunately just kind of fell to the wayside on my main account. It's like, I really want to try you, but I gotta buy Blissey, I gotta buy Blastoise, I gotta buy Sylveon. So you're gonna have to be on the back burner, Gardevoir. So she came up in the free rotation and I started playing her. Oh my god, so much fun. I immediately was like, this is one of the characters I can tell I just straight up enjoy. Not the strongest character, but so much fun. I felt the opposite of what I watched everybody else go. I see Psychic and Psyshock everywhere. And I toyed around a bit, I tinkered with the tools, and I was like, that is the exact opposite of what I like. We are Moonblast Future Sight gamers in here. It's baby's first mage combo. You just hit one button and then the other, you hit the stun and the delayed damage, and you just blow people up. It's so much fun. Like, the Gardevoir is literally baby's first combo mage. Just press all your buttons and you knock out the other Pokemon. I was having a blast with it. That free rotation was a blessing for me this week.
Psyshock was super fun though. I really like the set up the circle and then that circle maintains its range kind of thing. It was just an enjoyable combo of abilities and UI that I hadn't seen before.
Yeah, just having that same orientation of a circle, so you sort of mirror the other guy's movement, like you're both people trying to walk past each other in a hallway, but you keep stepping the same way.
Yeah,
it has that same kind of energy to it. And I did like that, and it is a lot of damage, but to me, there's nothing quite like, oh, I'm gonna walk up and I'm gonna stun you, and haha, you can't dodge my huge nuke, and I'll see you in about 10 seconds to do it again. That to me is just so much fun. Just, oh, excuse me, if you don't mind, just boom. Okay, huge burst. All right, now I'll see you soon. And Gardevoir's whole ideology to me feels like that. You spend the entire game waiting to get your ult, which you get at level 10.
Oh my god, it's forever. Yeah,
and then
I feel playing Blastoise too. Alt level 10.
It's also 10. Okay. That, to me, that makes sense. Like, but these ults, I'm thinking about the ults you get at level 10, Zeraora, Blastoise, Gardevoir. These ults are worth the wait. Okay, you're gonna be waiting a while, but people are gonna die. You're gonna knock out some Pokemon once you get those. Gardevoir, I also, because I was on the free account and I didn't even have an eject button yet, and I still don't for the moment. I would just go X attack, just know that I boosted up all my damage stats, including my special attack, press literally all of my buttons, and just there's a triple kill. It's a cathartic experience and an enjoyable experience in almost no other way. It scratches its whole own itch. So I'm very thankful for the free rotation.
I've had a good few games, won or lost, on the back of one Gardevoir ult at Zapdos, just sucking in an entire enemy team and then comboing on their face. I also had a really legendary game where Gardevoir saved the game. We lost Zapdos, but they tried to funnel through that choke point that we like to talk about to go turn in, and
the horizontal hallway of doom.
She got everybody in that black hole, and they were not able to turn in after Zapdos, and then we went and turned in a couple and managed to win. So legendary Gardevoir plays.
It's so long though. But
oh yeah.
So when are her like secondary abilities? So that would be level 3 and level 6. And are Blastoises the same? Or is it kind of a level 3 and level 5? Okay, so that's where my perspective is like, oh man, getting to the actual ability I want, either Future Sight or Psyshock, is a long go.
I had a game just a little bit ago. You got to play Slowbro for the Battle Pass this week, right? And so I had to play Slowpoke, and I had to lane against a Sylveon.
They did it
We all
again,
know
the
Sylveon
Slowbro
is
thing.
broken. Yes,
Yeah, I'm not. I refuse to participate.
Slowbro.
Not this time. Last time you got me with those pink ears, okay? The pink ears were enough to make me do it. I was like, I will
Not some
suffer
Battle
for these
Pass
ears.
points, though.
No, not some battle
You
pass
can
points,
recoup
not
them
some
later.
not some ugly khaki pants. It's not enough. I won't do it. I refuse. I cannot. No.
10 cents.
No.
I don't know if any of you guys listen to this, but you have the opportunity to pull the best prank ever and just run it back with the same quest next week. Please, I beg of you, just bring the Slowbro right back. Specifically call out Kyberries for it. It'll be great.
Stop trying to make Slowbro a thing. Okay? Just stop trying to make Slowbro a thing. Like fetched. It's not gonna happen. Nobody wants to play Slowbro. He's not fun. He's not good. Stop. Get
It
some
does
help.
seem that way. You don't get Slowbro. Wait, he's free, right?
You get him for free. Yeah. He's one of the characters the game straight up just gives you Slowbro. I want to say for hitting level 2.
They just keep shoving him at you. Like they keep trying. They gave him the sweater. It's a really they gave him the cute sweater skin. They're like, hey, look at this cute fall Slowbro. Absolutely not.
I will say, to me, Slowbro feels like a character that would greatly benefit from the game having a draft. Slowbro feels extremely good into certain drafts if you were to hypothetically be able to pick him as a counter. But if you're just picking your characters and you have no idea what the other enemy team is picking, then some of his strengths might not be nearly as relevant. I know for Slowbro, for example, your ultimate is the only unstoppable piercing CC in the game. So I remember Charizard ult just coming in, barraging everybody. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't run. You can't out damage it. You can't CC him out of it. You're just doomed when the Charizard ult comes for you, unless you have a Slowbro. And Slowbro with his ult can just snatch Charizard right out of his ult and stun him through it. No other character can pull that off. So his ability to counter specific stuff by piercing that unstoppable, by offering that CC, is so good. It's just, I think it honestly would not surprise me if we ever see a draft come to Pokemon Unite. I expect Slowbro to be totally usable just when the situation calls.
Here's my problem with that. After having been forced to play him so I could have the cute ears, on his end, landing that good CC and using that like good telekinesis or whatever actually feels super clunky and bad. Like he is not enjoyable to play. Actually hitting that CC is a pain in the butt, and it was not fun. It was miserable. Every moment of playing that character was pure pain. And even if you landed like really good CC and you're like, I saved you from the Charizard all time, a god, it still felt like you were the god of trash. Like it was just nothing but torture playing that character. That was the worst part. He has these epic moments of like, I'm so good and I'm so useful, but they don't feel good on his end. Maybe there's a Slowbro main out there who's like, no, it's awesome. But for me, even when I was playing well, I wasn't having fun doing it. I hate that character.
I have a slightly more bright view of the character than you do, but I respect your opinion.
Well, on that note,
on that note, please don't bring that quest back again. I'm not going to do it.
It sounds like the perfect storm. You know,
it'll be hilarious.
A tank given freely, most people can complete it. Like, yeah, if you put it on something like Zeraora, it would be a madhouse. If you put it on something like Eldegoss, they'd have to go buy it to do the quest. I see why it happens now, but yeah, it's weird. It's a little sad. And they could just do like a tank. Get more tanks in the game. Everyone, whatever you want to do, just take up a tank role. But on that note,
I mean, we also have those quests right now. There's currently, all at the same time, a Battle Pass quest to play 6 games of Slowbro. It says play with Slowbro, but no, you have to be the Slowbro. there is a quest to play 24 games of Speedster that has like another 12 days left on it, and a request to win 12 games of All-Rounder. They are really trying to sell you on playing certain characters. Like, guys, we get it. You like supporters. You like attackers. We have other stuff too. Please play this. We'll throw tickets, item enhancers, gold, battle pass points, whatever. But the amount of games that you have to play of these sort of off rolls right now is absolutely wild.
24 games is a lot of games.
Oh yeah,
like,
and that's
a lot
for Speedsters.
That's like hours of gameplay. Like,
oh, yeah.
I didn't really think of it that way, but each game being 10 minutes long, you're playing 24 games. I guess you could cut it in half if you're doing them all in quick match, but still, like, there's a lot of games.
Yeah, and then the crazy thing is, what I used to do to just sort of burn my quests really fast was I would play AI matches, and then the AI would always surrender the instant they went down 300 points.
Sure.
So you could do your quick matches in about 3 minutes of game time per quick match. That got removed. The surrendering got removed. The bots play out the full match now. I don't know if it's just like a much wider margin of victory that you need now or what. But you can't, shave off time of your quests by doing them now. By doing them in AI and getting the AI to surrender, unfortunately. So even my primo quest burning strat has been nerfed. Feels bad, man.
And power to you for having at it, though. I'm in Camp Kaya-berries here. That ain't happening.
Yeah, you can't make me do it. Yeah, that's just you would need some much better, much more specific rewards than item enhancers. I'm not doing it.
At this point, the three of us, we've been playing since the game came out on Switch. I know, at least for myself, I'm at the point where extra tickets are a nice to have, but not a necessity at this point. If anything, I need gold. I need these characters come out so quick, but when they throw these quests at me, offering all these tickets, I'll do it. I'm personally okay, whatever. I'll play the 6 million games of Tank that you want me to play. But it doesn't feel like a necessity. I'm not going to have cold sweats in the middle of the night if I don't finish this. So I get where you're coming from, for sure.
Well, let's make our way towards Sylveon, but first, this. We want to take a moment to thank everyone who goes to patreon.com/Aeos Clubhouse and subscribes with their hard-earned dollars to support this very show. You can give $1 a show. You can give whatever you want for our per-episode support system over at patreon.com/Aeos Clubhouse. This week, we want to thank Benjamin D, Multizord, and S'mores Bacon. Thank you for supporting the show and helping content like this thrive. Now on to Sylveon, who has entered the stadium as a intermediate ranged attacker with a special attack, which is important for that difference between your items you might run.
Yeah, that was one of my notes for Sylveon, was choosing items. I was already running Wise Glasses, and I was running Buddy Barrier because does anyone not run Buddy Barrier? Is there ever a situation where you wouldn't? So I had Wise Glasses and Buddy Barrier, and I really wasn't sure about that third item. And that's where not getting to play her has been so hard, because you can't go I'm just going to try her with different items and see how it feels, because you don't get to play the character unless you want to do the try mode, which I find to be just not good. But I think Mockery has done some research.
Emulate the real game.
No, and it's really even hard just to I want to go try my combo, because the AI runs away from you. They will always try to be in the opposite lane as you, laning and turning in. It's really strange, but you spend so much time just chasing the other AI down to try to get them in a fight, and then they'll immediately either run from you or respawn and go where you are not. So it's super frustrating to be I just want to see what this item does for my combo. You spend more time just running around the map than anything. But I think you were saying choice specs, Mockery?
Yes, yes. So I thought that was so interesting, especially because I've seen a lot of mystical fire Sylveon, which seems to play. I say seems to because again, haven't bought it yet. Why are you 10,000 gold? But it seems to be a very just sort of kitey, dashing, auto attack, kiting character. You know, just bouncing around all over the place. Auto attack, auto attack, auto attack. There's nothing you can do. I run away from you. I chase you down if you try to run away from me. You can't stay on top of me, all that. So, you know, whenever I think about those kinds of characters, that is a character archetype that is very consistently across many different genres of games, a physical damage dealing archetype, just kiting with auto attacks. But no, Sylveon scales off of special attack if you look at the in game stats, or if you go to unite-db.com that has all the damage formulas. And so I was looking, I was like, okay, based off that information, knowing that Sylveon scales off special attacks, what do top Sylveon players build? And that is information that you're able to view right directly inside the game. And so I went and looked at it. And one thing that I thought was super interesting as a result of that is what you touched on just now, is that all three of the top rated Sylveon players right now, 1, 2, and 3, are all running double glasses. So that means they're running wise glasses and choice specs on Sylveon at the same time. All three of them, surprisingly, differ on what that third item is. Which, you know, if you ask me, I'm just throwing in a buddy barrier whenever I can. But I saw buddy barrier, focus band, and shell bell. All three of the top three Sylveon.
Shell Bell?
Yeah, shell bell.
You know how I love Shell Bell. Is Shell Bell back?
According to that one top Sylveon player, they currently are going shell bell. So who knows? But Sylveon has a kit that scales really well off of special attack. And also, whenever you deal or take damage, your special attack increases, which might even further increase the value of choice specs and of wise glasses, as both of these items directly scale off of the amount of your special attack stat. So this just seems like a character where just the more special attack you can get, the better it seems to work. Right now, that's just kind of my read of the character, is that double glasses is just 100% popularity among top three Sylveons, all about the special attack, and she's, of course, as we all know, incredibly busted.
Yeah. So for her actual abilities, I think hyper voice is so OP and insane. What you take other than hyper voice, I've seen other people playing a lot with Calm Mind. So Calm Mind is like the buff where it increases, I think, your special attack and special defense. So you would pop Calm Mind and then drop Hyper Voice on them and just dominate. I really like Kiss, whatever it's called. Draining Kiss, because it feels like a lot of burst damage. And I don't know, I just like it. It's really funny. The heart going back and forth is really cute. But I think Hyper Voice is like a must pick for ability. Like, it does so much damage. People seem terrible. It's a cone, right? You put out a cone, you can move, but you can't reposition the cone. So you have to move your body to keep them in the cone. The cone has like 3 levels: far away, medium, and close. If they're in the far away one, they take extra damage, and then it gets cooldown reduction. So it has like a roughly just slightly less than 2-second cooldown, and it starts cooling down while it's being used. So you can basically just absolutely spam voice, and it does so much damage when you have them in the end. It is insane the amount of damage that ability can do. If they're gonna stay in that final like area, the tip of it, you can just shred anybody. So for me, when I was playing with voice and kiss, if I could lock a kiss on somebody and then start voice, and then God help them if I got a second voice off if they were still alive at that point, like I was shredding like Blastoise and Mamoswine, let alone just walking up and deleting like Zeraora or Lucario, anyone with lower life. If Sylveon can get close enough to you to hit you with the voice beam and you don't dodge it in some capacity, you're just dead.
Yeah, you've got 2 multipliers on this thing. So this is Hyper Voice, one of the level 4 abilities. Unleash an attack of multiple sound waves that deals damage when it hits. The damage they deal increases the further the target is from the user. Every time a sound wave hits, the next sound wave deals more damage.
it's disgusting how much damage it does. Like, and it's super easy to use. You drop the cone on the person, and then you just kind of like move your body to keep them in the cone because you can't reposition it. You can like back up. If they're chasing you, you back up and you just keep them in this cone. It feels so great for zoning because anyone who actually knows what it does, they don't want to keep chasing you. They do not want to stay in that cone. So you can just drop it and everyone scatters like roaches. So you feel safe. Mockery is in the dark. Mockery's in the
my
light.
lighting keeps dying. You guys can't see it right now, but Kyberries just sees me just fumbling and
You're in the dark and you're like gesturing and are you okay?
Yes, I'm okay, I promise.
It is nasty though. Hyper Voice does so much damage. I have definitely seen people using Calm Mind with it, and I can understand why you would use Calm Mind with it. I find Kiss more fun. That's just me, but man, Hyper Voice is out of control. Playing against Sylveon, because you absolutely will. She'll be in every single game that you play. You have to get out of that cone. Sometimes just running at her is the only thing you can do to try to get away from the tip of the cone because it does more damage. But dodge in some way. Use your eject button. Go backwards. You can't stand in that cone. She will wreck your whole bloodline if you stand there.
I agree with you, and certainly after seeing some of your gameplay here, the power in which you have in keeping somebody inside of it and moving with them and predicting their movement just seems way more impactful than Mystical Fire, which I saw more of this week. And I think that's because of its kind of auto-target nature. It's kind of like a mini missile, like Iron Man kind of thing, and it's just very easy to use.
I'm usually all about the brain dead gameplay too. I will usually always take the ability that is easier to use, but voice doesn't feel that hard to use. Like, I am not a great damage dealer player person, and I'm playing it and I'm like, this doesn't feel hard. It feels fun. It feels rewarding. So with all of my patented brain dead builds out there, I'm telling you, play Hyper Voice. It's not hard, and the return is so much higher.
Well, let's take a look at that ability real quick. The Mystical Fire has the user create 4 small frames while advancing in the designated direction. The flames shoot towards the opposing Pokemon one by one, dealing damage and decreasing the Pokemon's special attack for a short time. Each time a flame hits, it reduces the cooldown of this move. But it kind of worked like Lightning Shield in World of Warcraft, where the flames were moving around you and it hits things as it goes around you. Is that true, or I
think it's closer to like a Sylvanas Q, if you're familiar with that from Heroes of the Storm, where the orbs get sent from you and they just fly towards nearby characters.
Okay, so the fact
they don't
that
need to make contact.
So I'm surrounded in fire, but me running in close does not deal fire aura damage.
No, they pick a person. Sure. They pick a person and shoot towards them, and the range is deceptively larger than. You don't have to like get in melee and rub the fire on them. It has some range where it will shoot at them, and you don't have control over who it shoots at that I'm aware of.
But then,
honestly, just talking about Mystical Fire and its competition with Hyper Voice, I mean, I feel like it doesn't have to be an either-or thing where only one of them is good. They both seem kind of busted to me, if you ask me. I think that you either get an extremely low cooldown dash that allows you to reposition at will, get a lot more auto attacks off, and it lowers its own cooldown whenever it goes. So you're playing that kiting playstyle that I mentioned before, or you just get this huge damage nuke from far away that punishes immobile characters and is really easy to use as follow-up for teammate CC, holding out enemies in place. So, is it really so bad to say they're both busted right now? Because that's kind of my takeaway at the moment.
But you can't auto attack while hyper voicing, correct?
I have no idea.
I think you can. I'm not. So I know when I was using it, I was still pressing my auto attack button. And now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if the autos are actually going off, but it doesn't cancel it either. So go ahead and just press A. Nothing bad will happen.
Keep spamming.
One thing though is you can't cast like Draining Kiss during Hyper Voice. So you want to do Kiss first and then start channeling Hyper Voice, and the Kiss will keep going back and forth as long as you stay connected. So that's why I like those two together. You get in, you use Kiss on whoever you're going to target. And that starts, the way it works is the heart goes from you to them to you, and it goes back and forth, right? It's like you're playing ping pong. So you just keep them in range for the ping pong, and that will keep happening. And then you drop Hyper Voice, and they're getting hit by both. And it's an overwhelming amount of damage. And it's just kind of fun positioning. She has a weird, she's channeling and also moving at the same time. So her animations look really slinky and funny when she's doing it. And you're just kind of slinking around trying to keep them in the cone. It's very fun, and it's a ton of damage.
Omega Molecule in the chat brought up that Mystical Fire auto targets. Therefore, in a team fight, you can't choose what it's hitting.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You don't have any control. Once you put it out, it just kind of off it goes.
So your cone business, while maybe shorter range, of course, is going to be a more tactical choice for getting rid of.
Your cone also can hit multiple people. If they're clumped, you can hit everybody with it. You could just lay waste to villages. It just depends on where they're standing.
Looks like in your video here that we're watching during the live show, you can't continue auto attacking while hyper voicing. So there might be some sort of choice in the future where like auto attack items become the rage and hyper voice is too much of a channel or something. That'd be an interesting choice to make there. Let's talk about that draining kiss. Has the user blow a kiss at the opposing Pokemon that goes back and forth between the user and the opposing Pokemon multiple times. When the kiss touches the user, it restores its HP. When it hits the opposing Pokemon, it deals damage to it and decreases its movement speed for a short time. Nice combo. If the user and the opposing Pokemon move too far away each other, the kiss will disappear faster than normal. So yeah, you tether yourself and sort of drain their health in a rhythmic heartbeat fashion.
My only complaint with it is that the image is a heart going back and forth, and not a like cartoony lips, like an actual kiss.
Like a smooch.
What the heck? Yeah, it should be like a big cartoon, like emoji lips going back and forth. It's literally called Kiss. What the heck? It's a heart. But I like it. If you ever played, it reminded me of Nami in League. You know how it goes damage heal, damage heal. It's kind of like that.
It goes water back and forth between multiple characters.
Right. This only goes between you and one target, but it still feels similar where it does damage and then it heals and then it does damage and then it heals. So it gives you a little bit of survivability and then does damage. The range is like comparable to Hyper Voice. So if they're in Hyper Voice, they're still in Kiss range. It's not going to break the tether.
Yeah, and then they're slowed, right? Yeah, decreasing their movement speed. So that's a great little combo. I like the visual on it too, that it gives you the back end of where you would be breaking the tether rather than a full-blown circle around the whole character clogging your screen. It's up against Calm Mind, and these are level 6 abilities as well. Has the user quietly focus its mind and calm its spirit? Dude, I didn't know Sylveon was so mad. Increasing its special attack and special defense and movement speed for a short time. So it's just a self buff then.
Yeah, so that's what I've seen other people doing along with Hyper Voice. You pop that so you get the movement speed and the defense and also the damage that lets you walk in kind of closer because you've got defense. Gives you movement speed so you can keep them in the Hyper Voice, and then it just makes the Hyper Voice do more damage. So I've seen a lot of people run that. It definitely felt strong. It just wasn't as fun. I don't know. It's boring. It's a self buff that you press before you press the other button.
Comparatively, I can feel you there. The level 12 upgrade being level 12 is quite notable. One time only while using this move, if the user is hit by an opposing Pokemon, the damage is completely nullified and the user is granted a shield.
Oh wow, that's really big. Like when you're talking about a huge instance of like damage. So for instance, like the Cinderace ult, something that's just a massive chunk of damage coming in at you all at once. Like the big meatball Cinderace sends when she ults out is the very first example I can think of. Just that matchup knowledge and being aware of when you should time that, so much skill reward right there.
Yeah, it comes at 12, so it's really late game, but like think of the Zapdos fight. You have a one-time immunity to all damage from one Pokemon.
Yeah.
That can be really big in that one big fight that matters. It's definitely strong.
One big catch, and then a shield on the other side. It doesn't sound like the shield is related to the damage you receive, just that you get a shield upon nullifying damage.
From what I understand, the shield is what it is. It's going to be the same no matter what you block, even if you block nothing.
The Unite ability is Fairy Frolic. Has the user jump into the air and become briefly invincible. The moment the user lands, it deals damage to opposing Pokemon in area effect and restores its own HP. For a short time afterwards, a set percentage of the damage dealt by the user is converted to HP of the user. This is what, this all, along with the whole kit, really gave me the their Illidan, our Illidan, or their Lycan, our Lycan, if you're a Dota player, like their Sylveon, our Sylveon, was very dependent on the use of this ult. And my side looked like it did nothing, and the enemy side, it was incredible.
It feels really boring to use. The animation on it is literally just she hops up in the air and then she lands. It feels so uneventful. I can understand why people, if they don't take the time to really read what it does and they just slam it, it doesn't seem like it does anything. It definitely doesn't have the big showy animations of think of like a Talonflame ult or like Blastoise ult. Even Eldegoss's ult, which is functionally very similar. They go up in the air, they're immune, they land, damage happens, right? Eldegoss heals the people around her. Sylveon heals herself. So they functionally are pretty similar, but Eldegoss's even feels more powerful. You go up and it gives you it goes broop, 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 and then when you land, it makes a big slamming noise, and it feels like something is happening. With the Sylveon one, there's almost no noise that it happens, and it just looks very unimpressive. So I can understand why people don't know what it does, because it doesn't seem like it does anything when you're actually just looking at it. But the self-healing on it is nuts. Like, you go up and you're immune, so you can immune off some damage or something that's happening to you. And then when you land, the landing doesn't do that much damage, but you want to immediately start attacking because you get that, it gives you that health back. So it's really strong for survivability. It just is really boring looking. And I think that's debating some people in the our Sylveon versus their Sylveon.
Interesting. I mean, it says here it does 1,508 damage. I don't know what level these values are on Cerebi.net, if I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
Cerebi.
Yeah.
But I don't know what level that's at. I mean, this shows Mystical Fire doing 1,651. So these must be max level values. Oh, level 15 base damage. Okay. So this is late game hit. Still not tiny.
Not tiny, but it doesn't feel like when you drop like a Blastoise ult, you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like that, but it is still really good. It's just that I'm just saying that's why maybe some people are using it wrong, like you were saying in your games, because they don't know what it does and it doesn't really feel like it does much. And so they're using it at the wrong time. They're not getting the survivability out of it they could. Because if you use it properly, you're like an unkillable god for a few seconds.
Well, that makes perfect sense now, too, because if they use their ult, it doesn't do a ton of damage. Then they start healing. You actually damage the enemy Sylveon, who then says, now it's my turn. They use theirs, actually get their health back. And being that their lifesteal now lasts longer, they are the superior Sylveon in this poker game they just played.
Yeah.
Is this the first Pokemon we've had with entirely different traits and attacks for the base level and the evolution?
Yeah, that did feel interesting. I've heard some people speculate that maybe there will be other evolutions, and that's how they're going to do it, where they'll have the same base EV kit, but each evolution has a different evolved kit. Like, that's how they're going to do that.
I think
it's certainly...
Yeah. Like, it's just interesting just right now, because at the moment that it's a Sylveon on the enemy team. So even if there were potentially multiple of them, I know some people have voiced their concerns about you shouldn't be unaware about if you're against a Sylveon or a Vaporeon or Jolteon or whatever may come up. But under the current reality of how the game works, you know exactly that it's a Sylveon, just based, and you can even see it if you're watching the video format right now from the load screen. that a certain person is going to be a Sylveon. So I wonder if we ever do see more EVs put into the future. I don't think that you're going to be particularly surprised by what that EV is going to be, so long as you're looking at the load screen. And that information may even end up being available on the in-game scoreboard as well, which does exist, surprisingly, even though I know a lot of times people don't pull it up. It actually has some pretty useful information. So I don't know, like it's really interesting to see where they can go with all that, especially as, you know, as we always mention, as three people coming from Heroes of the Storm, where we had our own whole fiasco with them attempting to implement a multi-class character for a long time and having very awkward balance phases as a result of that. There's a lot of different ways it could go. And I think that overall right now with it, I don't think we're going to see another evolution for a while. And it's all just completely wild speculation about what it could be. So who knows where it's going to go.
It would be
as much as I like the different EVs, I almost hope they don't do that just because there's so many Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
There's over 900 Pokemon. Do we really need all of the EV? Like, could we get some other Pokemon? I don't even like Sylveon. It's my least favorite of all the EVs, but it's the one that we have. And I'm just like, there's so many other choices. Are we really going to have a world where there are 900 plus available Pokemon and you could have a whole team of evolutions? You have 5 EVs at the start of the game. That just feels boring to me, I guess.
I can't think of another evolution that would fill a different role either.
Yeah, right. Is Flareon going to be the tank EV? Vaporeon's going to be your EV.
I mean, just going off of, I guess, Bubbles, and I always thought Vaporeon was the lamest. That's what I would put them as defender.
Okay, fighting words.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw down about that. It's the ears. It's the ears. I don't like, you know, the fish ears.
I get you. My first thought is that you could definitely see a support, because support is not synonymous with healer. Although
true.
you could totally, I bet you could see a Leafeon healer. I don't remember exactly what its kit is from the actual games, but you could always see a Leafeon or a Vaporeon with a very utility-focused support role, similarly to Mr. Mime, where it's about moving people around, applying buffs and debuffs, blocking parts of the combat. That's all, you know, potentially available down the line. But like I said, it's basically just wild speculation. We have no clue where any of this is going.
Well, Eevee is extremely plain, as I guess they should be, right? I mean, we got a third basic attack that is a basic attack. Your trait is every time the Pokemon deals damage or receives damage, its special attack is increased for a short time. This stacks up to 4 times, but lasts only 1.5 seconds. You have a sweet ability called Baby Doll Eyes. Has the user stare at the opposing Pokemon with Baby Doll Eyes, dealing damage and decreasing the Pokemon's attack and movement speed for a short time. And then Swift, which shoots stars a little kind of in the hyper voice way, in that you are firing them out in front of you and now locked in that direction.
Yeah, Swift is definitely training for using hyper voice, because the only way to reposition it is moving your whole body, which is the same way you do for hyper voice. Swift is a little different though. It's not a cone. They shoot out in like a line, but each star has its own trajectory. So while you might hit them with the star on the left, if they move or you move, you might not hit them with the star on the right. They all go straight out of your body, but they each have their own little line of fire, I guess.
Okay.
So you have to wiggle yourself to hit them with all 4, and if they move or you move, you can miss some of the stars but hit with other ones. It takes a little getting used to, especially for an ability you only have for a couple levels and you get rid of it anyway.
The thing that makes me think that there will be more evolutions is the change up of the trait, which is almost the same, except for it now adds special attack and special defense. Stacking 6 times lasts the same duration. So we went from 4 times just special attack to 6 times special attack and defense. And it'd be very easy to just kind of tweak those so it's still Eevee-like, but an evolution of it.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of different ways that they could take that. I think in the future, I would be very surprised if 3 years from now we have no more evolutions. But for the frame of right now, I do kind of agree with what Kai said about, like, we've got options. Like she said earlier, we have almost 900 or over 900 characters, over 900 Pokemon. I saw her start to correct me. She started mouthing over.
I can listen. Okay, listen.
But we have over 900 Pokemon in the game, and so for at the moment, let's see some Torterras, let's see some Garbodors. Let's mix it up a little bit.
Garbodor was in Sword and Shield. Boy. Yeah,
he's my boy.
If we're going
Trubbish
off of that.
and Garbodor, my garbage children, bring them in. They're so good.
So naturally, we got questions sent to the inbox over at aeosclubhouse@gmail.com, as well as in our Discord, which you can find attached to the Twitter at Aeos Clubhouse, whether or not Sylveon was worth picking up. So what's the verdict?
Jesus, yes.
But you won't get to play them.
But I mean, if you can actually get it locked in, yes. She is really strong. Maybe overtuned. I'm not really a good judge of that kind of thing, but she is incredibly strong if you can ever get to play her. But you're going to see her in your games. Somebody's going to play her if you don't.
Wait, does Draining Kiss go faster if you're actually close to the Pokemon you're draining?
Well, it has to travel the distance between you and the person you're bouncing it off of. So if you're closer to them, it doesn't have to go as far.
Yeah.
Thereby increasing its DPS. However, this does conflict with what Kyberries was talking about with Hyper Voice, where Hyper Voice incentivizes you to be farther away from the enemy to deal more damage. And of course, Hyper Voice is a cone. So if you're farther, then you have a wider area of damage to deal with. So there is a bit of conflict there, but you do want to stay at least within bouncing range so that you can keep ricocheting that smooch back and forth.
Damn.
Fortunately, Hyper Voice, even the end of the cone where you want to keep them, is not super far. It's not like really long range. It's much shorter than, like, I'm trying to think of what I would compare it to, but it's not as long as you think. You do want to keep them at the end, but it's not that far where your kiss is still moving pretty darn quick. It's not melee, but it kind of like maybe Here's the Storm reference again, because we have to, like Tychus, where it's not melee, but it's not really ranged either. You're still pretty close, which is why a lot of people favor Calm Mind, because it gives you that defense, because you are in smacking distance when you're using Hyper Voice, for sure.
Seems really fun. Like, even as tuned as it may be, and it does seem a little, release tuned, as maybe what we'll call it. They gotta sell their evolutions and all that. But it just seems like a really enjoyable kit and works well together across the abilities.
I mean, that just sums up Unite for me in general. Like people will talk about the pay to win, which I think is overhyped. People will talk about this or that, or balance, or patch notes. At the end of the day, I'm having fun playing the game, and I'm having fun on basically every character that I pick up. I talked about it before. Gardevoir is seen as kind of weak, scales really slowly, doesn't have the same redeeming factors as other characters. And all of that matters if I'm trying to be the very best that no one ever was competitively. But I'm just having a good time, and I think that in general they've succeeded at making a very fun game. And despite the fact that I think Sylveon is an unbalanced mess, I still think that applies there too.
So you'd recommend picking them up?
I'm saving gold up for it right now, but it costs 10,000 gold, which is just too much.
I bought it with gems. I gave in.
Yeah,
I was like, take it. Since I'm not buying, I don't know if we're to this part of the show yet.
Let's do it.
Okay. So last show, I talked about how much I wanted that Ninetales skin with the portrait specifically, because I wanted the portrait, right? Well, that was before anybody told me it was $40. What? I saw that, and I'm pretty sure my heart stopped for a moment. That's straight up there with CS:GO knife skins levels of stupid expensive.
The thing about a CS:GO knife skin is that you can sell it to someone else and get that back. You are not getting, you can't be like, oh, never mind, I don't like this Ninetales skin that much. Why don't you take it? I'll sell it to you. No, yeah, that money is gone. And the way I see it, Nickelodeon All-Stars just came out and it was on sale on Steam for $40. And I could either have, for the same money, Nickelodeon All-Stars or one single Alolan Ninetales skin.
It's just $40 for a skin in any game is getting pretty wild. Now, it does have some other perks. It comes with that portrait. It comes with an outfit for your character. It is a legendary skin where it changes all of the animations and it applies to Vulpix as well as Ninetales. But still, $40. The what are they called in League of Legends? The really fancy skins. They're not even $40. They're $30.
And that's, I don't know, man. That's still way too much.
I know.
I like this subreddit. It's called Patient Gamers, and I personally live that lifestyle of games where, like, I am getting my games from Humble Bundle. I'm playing free games. Like, I have all these games, and I play free games for the majority of my time in MOBAs. I don't need to have the latest, newest, top-end thing that costs a bunch of money. Gaming is super cheap these days if you are patient about it. If you're willing to play the hottest hits of 2 years ago, like, that's not that bad, and it's a million times cheaper. Yeah. So
Witcher's probably on sale right now for $2. You should play it.
Oh yeah. I remember seeing Witcher shortly after the DLCs had come out, like the winter sale or summer sale or whatever, where you could straight up get The Witcher 3 and all the DLC for, like, what, $15? And that's well over 100 hours of gameplay. And so when I stake my dollars and I think, how far could this $40 take me? $40 on Humble Bundle over a couple months is like about 40 games. You're talking about somewhere from like 20 to 40 games. And so, no, this Ninetales skin is absolutely absurd. I know that I said I was just singing the praises of the game and how much fun it is. This is still absurd, though. I miss when we were freaking out about $5 horse armor in Skyrim. I miss when that was all the rage and the big controversial thing. And now people barely blink, some of them, at a $40 skin. Way too much.
There's nothing humble about this thing. I mean, look at it. It's big, it's bombastic. Your trainer's gonna be all dressed up as it. For those who do desire to throw down such a mighty thing, I felt my heart break a little bit, though, because I remember now 2 weeks ago, Kai Berry's going through the menu and being like, "What is this frame? I wanted
it so bad."
And it was such an innocent thought. I want to unlock this via achievements. I want to be a part of this frame. And
I want that frame still. But I see, I'm the opposite of Mockery. I am a person who will pay for DLC, who has bought skins, who buys games full price. I don't even care if I want to play it. I'm just like, give me the thing. Because this is like one of my main hobbies. It's what I do. So I have definitely, we play other mobile games. We want to talk about Meat Yard's Raid Shadow Legends shard budget. Like, I would be the kind of person who would buy a skin and pay for it. Like, I would do that. But $40 has pushed it outside of the realm of sanity to me for a skin, even a skin that comes with an outfit and a portrait and all that stuff. I mean, it better come with an outfit. It better come with a portrait. It better buy me dinner. Like,
I was gonna say, for $40, take me out to a nice dinner, give me a massage.
Yeah,
I'm not doing all
that.
To
be fair, though, those won't last. You'll eat dinner, the massage will end, but you will always have your Ninetales skin.
Jesus, yeah, that's outrageous. That's too much. Like I said, League of Legends, whose skins and selling skins is their whole business model, right? League is built on a tower of skins. Their most expensive skins are like $30. Like, if you're more expensive than League of Legends, I just feel like that's like, woo!
I just listened to what Kyle just told me, and I'm just wondering what kind of bizarro world we live in, where the real, the actual, the real objects of the real world are only temporary, but pixels are forever.
They are.
Yo, tell your girl I said, hey.
It's a total inversion of reality. And also, yeah, that's my wife in my background. Hello, wife. Hello. Bye, podcast. Hi, wife. You got nothing to apologize for, babe.
It does.
Yeah,
and it's in motion.
Skin, man.
You know, I mean, we've got JPEG battlers, and sometimes if you upgrade, they're GIF battlers, and they're called Hearthstone, Magic the Gathering, and other such things. This is 3D, so you're getting more than that.
I feel like I'm minutes away from a rant about NFTs with the way the conversation
Oh
is
God,
going.
no, please, not that.
Yeah, no. My defense of this is merely for fun. It's outrageous. I won't, but it doesn't hurt me. And
I mean, if you have like Saudi oil baron money and you want to buy a $40 skin, more power to you. If you have that kind of disposable income and you're managing your finances responsibly, I'm not your mom, but
we need whales.
Yeah, I mean, it keeps the game going, I guess. But for us average Joes out here, $40 for a skin is, it's insane. And it will I'm not buying it either, even though I want it a lot.
Put on our own pants.
Right. We don't have Alfred Pennyworth to come put our pants on for us. Probably not gonna buy that skin.
Plus,
I'll pass.
I got my kilt now. I'm pretty happy. I got a kilt I can
wear.
wear.
You got the kilt. There you go.
Yeah, no, it's so funny. Like the battle pass. I always talked about, I don't care what my human looks like. You know, I don't see it in the game. It's literally just in the menus. Why do I care about my cosmetics? And then I have heard a good like 10 different people talk about this one kilt in the battle pass. It is all the rage. Everyone is like, oh, got my kilt. Ooh, kilt's coming up in a few levels. Oh, we got that kilt earlier. Did you see that? No other cosmetic in the game for the human character has earned as much attention as this one piece.
It's got a spore in
there.
It's got a spore.
Did you hang out with me when I was sweating for the pink sweater? Like I wanted it so bad, and I kept opening. I could not get the pink sweater. I did finally get it and wearing it, but I really wanted that pink sweater.
I was gonna say, can't you just use your mountain of just extra, completely unneeded fashion tickets? I'm sitting on 300.
No, that's what it was. When you could only get from opening the energy tanks.
Okay.
So I had to wait until I got it magically, and I got it. But yeah, the fashion tickets, I don't know what to do with. There's nothing good to spend them on. I just have them. I don't know.
Yeah, because for the most part, you can spend the fashion tickets on stuff that you get out of the Aeos generator. And I'm just like, I might get these anyway, and I don't want them particularly right now. So I just have this pile of tickets that is just kind of completely useless.
I'm hoping someday they release a Pokemon skin that's good for ticket. Like, I think you can get something, but it's for Pokemon I don't play, with like a bunch of tickets, right? So maybe I'll save them up long enough and there'll be an awesome like Eldegoss skin someday.
Wasn't Mockery trying to get Barry Snorlax? Wasn't that you?
Yeah, those are the Pokemon fashion tickets, the green ones. Those ones are heavenly. I get those and I'm like, yes. It's the orange tickets that are redeemable for the people clothes, that are their own set of tickets that I may as well. That number, I could have 7,000 of those tickets. I could have 0 of those tickets, and my life would be the exact same. Whereas the green tickets that are used for the Pokemon Hollowware are actually pretty sick. Unfortunately, they are not one and the same, though.
I can't think of any people clothing anymore that I'd be like, oh, I really want to get that. The one that comes with the Ninetales $40 bundle has a really cute hair. It's like a gray blonde long hair that's it's really cute. But
now see,
look at it there. You can wear that with other outfits too, because I saw somebody playing the Ninetales skin and then their character was wearing the hair but not the rest of the outfit.
Yeah, I've seen some people buying it just for the hair, so they can
hair is
upgrade
good hair.
It does have something,
you hear that? People are spending $40 for pixel hair on a character that they don't even see while they play the game that they spent the money in.
When you capture things, listen, I'm not going to argue for it. I only argue because it's fun. I do think this does usher in, though, a request that is let me set some profiles, because I'd love that. I'd love if I had my space Gengar, I was in my space suit, then I switch over, I'm going to go You know, I'm going to go play Ninetales. I won't wear this, but I'll wear something else. You know, let me set some profiles.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, there's so many different outfits. You know, one day I'm dressed just like a casual dude in his office, the next time this and that, and I have to dig through all of these menus to change my clothing one by one. Like it feels like they aren't sure whether playing dress up with your human character is something that you should be doing or not. You know, it's like they throw all these cosmetics at you and you consistently get them out of boxes and you have tickets to get more and they're part of bundles, but they don't make it convenient at all to put all these outfits on. You know, let me do whatever I want. Let me go back and forth between a couple presets, but unfortunately we don't have that option right now.
Maybe with time. Maybe with time. As we head to the end of the show here, let's take an email or two. We got lots of great emails recently, and we'll just be grabbing a couple today. Would this be Cabbages-esque, or would you end it with a K sound?
That's going to be Cabbage-esque, is what you're reading right there.
All right. Well, I go as Taras, so I don't know if it's Cabbage. So my wife has been enjoying playing the game, but she always asks me one question. Where's Psyduck? I'm not sure that it's hard to pin down, but what's the release cadence for the new Pokemon look like?
Well, the release cadence has been fast and furious.
Yeah.
We've gotten a lot of new Pokemon, and we get them very rapidly once they're announced. We are officially out of announced Pokemon.
That's true.
Sylveon was the last one that they told us about, so we're ripe for another teaser or another couple announcements or good old-fashioned data mines. I don't know. But fast? Psyduck is a really popular Pokemon, so I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up in the game in some capacity. But it seemed like we've gotten at least one Pokemon a month, if not two Pokemon a month, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely more. Because the game came out in July, it's October now. So it's been what, like less than 3 months since the game came out, and we've already seen at least 6 additional Pokemon, I want to say.
Yeah.
So the
time is an illusion. It's hard to say, but yeah, 2 a month then. So
especially in the times that we're in these days, where I feel like I was just in college, just about to finish up college, and no, that was almost 2 years ago. It's like, what's happening? So time is all distorted. None of it is real. And there are hundreds of choices of Pokemon for what could get added to the game. But honestly, with how fast they're being added in and with how relatively iconic Psyduck is in comparison to some random Pokemon from like Gen 7, I think it's decently likely.
Would Psyduck evolve? Or is that a Pikachu situation?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, it's a whole huge thing in the anime. I remember being fed up as a kid just watching Psyduck episode after episode. Just, I have a headache. And, you know, that's all it would seem to do every episode. And it was this big, huge moment that it finally turned into Golduck and was, like, actually effective at doing anything. So it's just a big part of it, right? Psyduck itself is kind of a meme in whatever it's shown. Even in Detective Pikachu, they're just kind of babbling, you know, in the movie itself. So I think 100% chance it evolves into Golduck if we ever see it in the game.
Okay, you know, I was thinking of the merchandise.
I would bet money on it.
You don't see a lot of Golduck around, but I understand your. Does that mean Butterfree would be really sad? Would they make a sad deal about Butterfree? Because that whole
Butterfree just flies.
Yeah.
He evolves into Butterfree and then he just flies off the map and you don't get to play for the rest of the game. He's just gone.
Well,
he's got to go find his pink girlfriend later.
To speak to the cadence, we got one more data mine to go if they're gonna keep in the order. So your Psyduck may be on the way, but something else lies next. Our next email is from, and hang on while I find it again. Rock Eddie says, do you guys think they overtly bugged Venusaur so they could keep selling more skins? I'm really tempted to buy the Venusaur skin since I've been mainly using him since he got his updates.
I the answer, I'm pretty sure to this is a hard no. So from what I know developers from like HOTS, and the people who make the skins aren't the people who tune the characters, and the people who make the characters aren't the people who tune the characters. So there's like at least 3 separate like balls in the air here, right? So the idea that the people making the skins go to the people who tune the characters and are like, hey, can you just crank this one up to 11 because we've got this skin coming out, and we really, we want to get people into the character. Games development just doesn't work that way, right? I mean, when there's something like a big character rework or release coming, yes, they'll try to line up assets, so they might have a skin or quests or something that come out at the same time to kind of make it like a package deal. But for the most part, those different departments don't interact in that way, and that's just simply not the way game dev works. Similarly, characters aren't generally released intentionally OP or broken just to get people to buy them. The way it was explained to me is, if you have a character released and they're released kind of weak, people won't play them, and it's harder to get data on them to how you should change them. Here's the Storm had the infamous Zarya situation, where when she came out and she was super weak and nobody played her, so then they tuned her up, but they super over-tuned her because they didn't really have a lot of data to work with on what was wrong with her. So then everybody was playing with her and she was broken. And this went back and forth where she received like 5 hot fixes in her first week of life. It's much easier for them to release a character that they know is maybe a little powerful and then tune them down from there. So that's usually why we see new release characters like Sylveon coming out a little strong out of the gate, and then they dial them back after the fact. But almost none of that is a marketing gimmick. Like, that's just not how game dev works. It's like a tinfoil hat thing that just isn't real.
So whenever I hear the sort of conspiracy theories about like, oh, the game forces you to have a 50% win rate. That's a super popular one in basically every competitive online game. Or they make the characters overpowered on purpose or for this or that reason. What my first thought always is like, these are some of the hardest jobs to do already, where you have to be insanely talented at programming to even get considered and willing to work super long hours to perform a very difficult task of trying to make good characters or keep a game balanced or work on the matchmaking or this and that. So it's already something that's so ridiculously difficult to get into and so hard to do. And you have a uniquely high aspect of like online abuse that you, as someone that works on a game, has to deal with. Why would you put the work into making your job harder when it's already such a hard job? I just don't see the incentive to, you know what I mean, to make your job harder, to add these, just speaking about the different conspiracy theories, not necessarily this one, to add extra things to matchmaking that's severely complicated, or to intentionally make something stronger, to make something overpowered as you're working on it in this stage. I'm like, they already have a lot on their plate as it stands. I just think from an incentives level and from just the reality of how hard that job is already as it stands, I don't see them making their own jobs harder within the way that it's set up as it is.
Well said. Well said, and that'll be our final email of today. If you did not hear your email, it may show up in a future show. Sometimes we keep emails and then they get answered via devs and balance and all that sort of thing. So it's an ever-turning and a beautiful pool of fish that we fish from to get beautiful emails. This show's coming to an end. Thank you all for joining us here at Aeos Clubhouse. If you enjoyed the show, consider throwing your hard-earned dollars at it over at patreon.com/Aeos Clubhouse. We have many goals, including more mailbag episodes. But, Mockery, where can people find you on the internet?
Hello, I can be found at Mockery TV on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. Those are my big ones. And I actually also, just in addition to that, I also started a YouTube channel, and I've posted about it on my Twitter and all that, and you can find it there. I've also posted about it in the Discord for this podcast recently, called Top Rank Unite Replays, and it also just has spectated from the in-game feature replays of the top-rated players in this game playing different characters. And I've been uploading 2 matches to that per day. So if you want to see high-level Pokemon Unite gameplay, I've got a channel for that. I've got another channel that's got my shorts for YouTube called Mockery TV Shorts, in case you want to see the clips in a more mobile-friendly format. And of course, I have my big channels under just Mockery TV. Those are the main hubs of content. So it's MOCHRIE TV. If you want to find me, that's where you go.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Berries.
Very excited.
Hello. What a thing to follow up. Well, I am Kaiberries, KIYE Berries. You can find me all over the internet, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, wherever, Discord. I don't know, all the places. It's Kaiberries. I'm pretty easy to pin down. I play a bunch of Unite, and I also play other games too. I have a YouTube just for Unite content, or I have another YouTube that is for Heroes of the Storm content if you want to see that, or you can come join me over at Twitch. That would be cool and fun, and I would enjoy it. Thanks, guys. And Kyle, what about you?
I can be found at Kyle Ferguson across the web.
Kyle, I have a question.
Yeah?
How many S's are in Ferguson?
Why, there are 2 S's in this very Ferguson. KyleFerguson.com. Whoop.
I was going to say, I wanted you to know, Mockery. I got it last week since you weren't here. I made sure.
Yeah.
I made sure I
so
caught
glad
it.
You picked up the slack for me. I appreciate that.
It was covered. Don't you worry. Everything about the show can be found at KyleFerguson.com. The RSS feed is available there if you want to direct download for any reason. If you're, you want to relive 2005 through 9, you may direct download the episodes there and put them on your mobile device using some sort of cord if you really wanted to. But the show is available wherever podcasts are found. You can also find me at twitch.tv/KyleFerguson. And check out my new video game news show called Nexus Gaming News, which is available on podcasts as well as YouTube. We just had our first big algorithm hit, reaching the thousands of views for a little game called Choo Choo Charlie, a scary train game that's coming out next year. So check that out on YouTube, Nexus Gaming News. That does it for Aeos Clubhouse this week. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for joining. Good luck in the stadium. Bye now, everybody.
See you later.
Bye.